get funky.
All right, welcome to the Bizz. We're all up in it. I'm your boy Daniels D Money up here in Senior Valley.
And I'm Aaron down in SD.
Hey, Aaron,
Yo,
what's wrong with these white cops, man? Don't you think at some point they should get the picture? Like, what's going on? Why is it every 10 days somebody's getting shot? Unarmed black man getting shot. You got white cops too. Hold on before we even get into it. I'm sorry. You would think in the current climate that's going on, right? We have the Ahmaud Arbery, and then in the past, the whole thing has been, white cop shoots unarmed black man. You would think if you are a white cop and you find yourself in a situation with an unarmed black man and cameras are rolling, you would think that that cop would have enough common sense to check himself and not kill the guy in front of him. Talk to me.
I'm sorry. Are you suggesting that common sense is gone?
No, common sense is anything but common. But
Gotcha.
these guys are supposed to be trained. And again, in today's atmosphere, in today's climate, if I'm a white cop and I know that, the Ahmaud Arbery thing just happened, and it's happened in the past where white cops are shooting, or killing unarmed black men. If I am a white cop and I get into a situation where, okay, we're dealing with an unarmed black man, and I know cameras are rolling, the last thing I'm going to do is something that's going to cause the person to die. Nothing unintentional, but like, where's the common sense, right?
It's
Again,
it's not there.
not that common. Not bad.
I think what's missing is the vetting of these officers before they get hired. LAPD is probably the best in the country at vetting officers, digging deep, looking at old Facebook pictures because that's who you really are.
Right.
Are you part of the Klan on the weekends, or do you have a record? All that goes into who gets selected to be a police officer.
Right.
But
And I get that. But obviously, I mean, obviously they're not vetting them well enough to figure out who is going to commit a racist act.
well, it also depends on where you are in the country. If you're in the South, oh, that Klan meeting he went to must have been fun. You're hired.
All right, so let's first address the bigger issue. George Floyd, unarmed, died after his encounter with the police. Right? It's a horrible thing. It's bad, and obviously there needs to be a check on the police. Not all police. I'm not here saying that police are bad. We need the police. We definitely need the police. I'm not saying police are bad. I do, but I am addressing these bad apples that keep popping up on camera. That's what I'm talking about. So I don't want anyone to jump down my throat by saying you're picking at police. I'm not. I have no problem with police. I have friends that I care about deeply who are cops. I have cops in my family. I wanted to be a cop at one time myself. I have no problem with police. I'm just discussing these bad apples that keep doing what they're doing and popping up on the news. So I'm not saying police are bad.
With this George Floyd thing, I think the serious trigger point, I couldn't think for lack of a better word, is the fact that they didn't use a gun. They physically ended somebody's life.
Right, with the knee on the neck.
Yeah, like physically. And I think the part, that's 100% murder to whatever level of murder. My issue was the other three cops that were just standing around watching.
Right.
Our necks, it's the softest part of your body right here. Not meant to support, a 170-pound man.
No. And especially when you already have him detained. So their main defense was, hey, this guy was resisting arrest. And might I add that they showed surveillance from a different camera angle today when they first encountered him. He didn't resist. There was no resisting. All right. Then let's say he did resist. Let's just say for the sake of their argument, he did resist. Once you get your resisting assailant or perp, whatever you want to call the person, on the ground, handcuffed and detained, your level of force needs to be adjusted.
Correct.
This guy is detained. He's on the ground. He's handcuffed, and he's saying, I can't breathe. My neck is hurting. At that point, you're still a first responder, even though you initially responded to a call of a forgery call, right?
Yeah.
If in the performance of your duties, you realize that someone needs medical aid, you're a police officer. You are trained to be a first responder. You're supposed to render that aid, which the guy didn't do. So, yeah, they should have gotten fired. And yes, they should be tried for murder too. Is that because it wasn't premeditated murder, right?
Yeah. Probably murder too. Whatever it is in Minnesota. Another thing that got me is, you could try this experiment at home. Lay on your stomach with your hands behind your back and try and get up. Yeah. There's it's like impossible. There's no need to have
he no longer posed the threat. All right. So
correct.
I applaud Minneapolis for, firing those police officers, but yeah, you guys need to step it up, Minneapolis.
You also hired those police officers.
This is true, but step it up. All right. These guys need to be in handcuffs themselves. I do want to talk about what happened in LA today, though. Police protesters on the 101 freeway, and then the police had to pull them off the freeway. And after they did that, the police protesters attacked the police cars and the police cruisers. What are you doing, people? Why are you attacking the police? Yes, I understand that you're upset about the George Floyd incident, as you should be, but you can't take it out on all police. These fools are on TV attacking a police cruiser. Trust me, all those people who attack the police cruiser, if someone breaks into the house tomorrow, who they gonna call? Fun fact, not Ghostbusters.
I think people sort of lump police into one group. You're either the police or you're not. And I think at this point, people are frustrated. Now, I'm not condoning violence or attacking anyone, but praying only does so much. Taking action does do something. And I don't know that you're supposed to, attack anybody, but people are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
So
bottom line,
let's go attack the police. And let's attack the police in California when the George Floyd incident happened in Minneapolis. I'm just trying to understand the logic between, and I understand people are upset, and I get it, but what good is attacking the police in California going to do the situation in Minneapolis?
I think the attempt.
You said that.
The attempt is to try and change the tone of interaction with police. Their job is they're there to police us. Write tickets, keep the peace. That sort of thing. But again, people are just reacting at this point. Half of us are just sick of being at home. It's COVID time,
And I get that.
We're just sick of being at the house.
And I get that. But you need to be smart about it, because only a smart response is going to help inspire change. I don't think attacking the police is going to help anything. Yes, we get it. You're upset. And people should be upset, because what happened to George Floyd was disgusting. But attacking the police is not going to help, right? Same thing when I made back to the comment I made last week, where people were saying we need to get out. We're tired of staying in. We have the right to go out, which I totally agree with. But have some common sense about what you do when you're out. Wear a mask. Stay 6 feet away from people. Wear your gloves. Be cautious about it. And that kind of applies to this thing too. If you're going to protest so your voice can be heard, so we can bring about that change, be smart about it. If you're upset with the police, don't attack them, because all that's going to do is, make them more adversarial. You don't want to attack the good cops. And there are a lot of them. And again, I want to reiterate that I'm saying, I'm not having this conversation saying that cops are bad, because they're people. But yeah, they're people. But they're human, is what I'm saying. And so not all cops are bad. We're just discussing the bad apples that keep popping up on the news because they don't have enough common sense to act right. I mean, they should be
Maybe,
acting right whether the camera's rolling or not.
yeah, we call that integrity. Maybe they should start partnering up, maybe white cop with a black cop. So there's different perspective, or white cop with minority, or just having a mix there of two people from two different backgrounds on the same team, so to speak, in the same squad car, policing whatever their neighborhood is.
Well,
Because everybody comes from different walks of life.
and I hear that, but if it was a black cop who put his knee on George Floyd and he died, I'd still be upset.
Oh, absolutely. But and you know what? I'm sure that's happened at some point in the past that maybe didn't make it on film. But obviously, there's obviously way more white cops than black cops, and this thing, it keeps happening. So, what's the solution? We can't say, okay, all cops off the street. You can only do so much vetting. I mean, if a guy's gonna lose his cool and go off one day, you can't plan for random all the time.
Right. All right. And yeah, and obviously, I mean, if this guy is a racist, he didn't become a racist yesterday, right?
There you go.
And I don't know if he was a racist. I can't sit here and say he was a racist. I mean, but it does kind of fall into the whole pool that we've been talking about for the past few years. White cop kills unarmed black man. So, and
Well,
I don't want to keep harping on.
Well, did you see the picture they posted of him, the cop that actually killed the guy, or killed George Floyd? It said, "Make white great again." That's what his hat said. So everybody's like, really? They hired that guy?
Was that a real hat? It wasn't like photoshopped?
That was a real hat.
And on that note, we have come to the end of this segment of the Bizz. Oh my goodness, people! Obviously, this is a broad topic, and it's unfortunate that we have to keep discussing it. Right? We have to keep bringing it up, but people need to be smarter. If you're gonna wear that badge, again, I have total respect for the police, but if you're gonna wear the badge, you need to follow your training. You need to do what you're supposed to do, whether someone's filming it or not. And these guys are doing wrong while someone's filming it. So anyway, we love the comments.
Some of them are doing wrong while they're filming it.
Exactly. Yeah, again, common sense is not so common. But it's sad what happened to George Floyd.
Absolutely.
If you guys, obviously, we'd love to see your comments down in the comment section. If you like the video, please give us the likes. Hit that subscribe button, because if you like what we're bringing you, then we can keep bringing it to you. Right? We good?
We're good.
Get it together, bad apples. And you protesters, great, protest. Do what you got to do, but don't attack the police, because that's stupid.
Agreed.
I've said it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. This is D-Money signing out in Simi Valley.
Hey, A-Rod down in San Diego, like and subscribe.
And we're out.